We like to see the product of failure. I know you do. Whether that's watching You Had One Job videos on YouTube or just hearing about failure from our friends. We like looking at fails. And while it's not the best habit, occasionally some products fail so hard that they deserve it. So here are 3 smartphone fails brought to you by Tech Guide. I promise that number 1 is going to be explosive. So first up, we have the legendary Vaporcade Jupiter. Legendary for all the wrong reasons. When you look at it, you might think, oh, it's a phone with a quirky antenna on top. You would be wrong. This is a phone that smoked. Vaporcade is an e-cigarette company, and they made a smartphone called the Jupiter that had a built-in vape and an amp to control it. I'm not joking. To those of us who don't vape, we might be thinking that, oh, this isn't for me, but I'm sure that the vapers loved it. Not exactly. You see, here's a major problem with this. Surely, anyone who would consider buying this was already a smoker. This means that they would probably have a vape that they liked, and given today's age, probably also a smartphone. So those who would consider buying this would say, well, this is the best vape, because then it'll be worth it. No, it wasn't. Okay, well then was it the best smartphone? No, it was not. There was no practical use case or benefit for your vape being attached to your phone except a grand waste of space, which comes at the direct cost of other components. So, to no one's surprise, it failed. Also, guys, don't vape. Vaping destroys your lungs, and vaping kills. Moving on to fail number 2, we have the Apple Newton. No, not that Newton. I'm talking about this Newton. This was Apple's first ever personal mobile device. This was also considered to be one of the world's first personal assistants. Now, when you're a new product in a new product category, you have to do something big. You have to have a big, bold headline feature or a key selling point. To give Apple credit, they did have a key selling point, and that was handwriting recognition. In 1993, do you see the problem? Handwriting recognition tech isn't even good enough in today's age. Imagine how bad it was in 1993. It was bad and dysfunctional. So with the key headline feature, the key selling point, being basically regarded as a gimmick that didn't even work properly, it's not hard to see how this phone failed. But it does get a little bit of credit because there's a silver lining. This fail was what allowed them to create the iPhone, which was successful. So it was a necessary evil. They tried and they failed, but then they went back and then they succeeded. On to fail number 3. This phone exploded onto the scene. People had explosive reactions and expectations for it. Unfortunately, those expectations got blown up when the users got blown up. If all of these exploding references don't trigger any memory, I am of course talking about the Samsung Galaxy Note 7, the exploding phone. Now, why did it explode? Samsung rushed to be able to beat Apple and release their phone before the iPhone 7. They won, but it had a price. So you see, all phones have a battery, and that's usually normal. However, in the case of the Samsung Note 7, due to lack of quality control because of the rushed production, the battery would heat up. And this is not just like, oh, my phone is feeling kind of toasty. This is, my phone is hot enough to melt through. That's an over-exaggeration, but this heat wasn't good for the battery. Not only did it cause the life cycle of the battery to decrease and performance of it, but it was actually heating up so much that it, along with other components, could spontaneously explode in a blaze of... Well, I was gonna say glory, but I guess, consider the fact that it's on this video, a blaze of failure. That'd be more suited. So there we have it, 3 smartphone fails. Now, I'm not gonna lie, these fails are pretty funny, and also incredibly sad to watch. Now, we should absolutely hold these companies accountable for their fails. People could have died from that Samsung fail. Luckily, they didn't, but there were 27 reports of burning and 55 reports of property damage. And that's just the ones that got reported. However, at the same time, we should be willing to forgive. I feel like the internet and its cancel culture can get carried away at times. People make mistakes and they should absolutely be punished for them, whether they're Apple, Samsung, or someone else. But the punishment should only be carried out to a reasonable degree and they shouldn't completely be taken out. They should be given the chance to grow and learn from their mistakes. Samsung and Apple got that chance, but a lot of companies don't. And as consumers, we should be a little bit more lenient to fails. I hope you enjoyed this video. A sub to the channel would definitely not be a failure. If you want more tech content like this, be sure to check out our website, link is in the description. My name is Hakim from Tech Guide and have a nice day.